Language or dramatic forms and features are used throughout The Crucible and The Caged Bird. They provide meaning in these texts and demonstrate how the composers invite their audiences to see the world differently. This can be shown through the struggles of individual or collective human experiences. Fear and hysteria are used throughout The Crucible and The Caged Bird. In The Crucible, hysterical fear becomes an unconscious mean to convey the resentment and anger suppressed by the strict Puritan society. Many Salem people, knowingly for personal gain, use the accusation of witchcraft, but most are overwhelmed by the collective hysteria. The quote, "I thought she were a saint to hear her. Abigail brings the other girls into the court, and she walks the crowd, will part like the sea of Israel," shows Elizabeth describing Abigail as a saint, and emphasizing that Abigail has a rise to power and is seen as untouchable to others. The use of the metaphor, "thought she were a saint," demonstrates she had become an instrument of God and was lying by as the theocracy thinks she is a saint. Biblical allusion and a simile are also used when Miller describes that the crowd will part at the Sea of Israel, demonstrating and showing the amount of fear that the crowd has of Abigail as they'll stand aside for her, as well as the hysteria she has caused due to the reputation she has brought upon herself. Throughout the poem The Caged Bird, the bird is said to sing with a fearful trill. This description helps the reader understand that the bird's melody quavers, indicating that the note is not definite and that there is a certain level of uncertainty. During the third and sixth stanza of this poem, it is said that the caged bird is singing. Mayer states, "The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown." The word trill uses sound imagery to emphasize the quavering or vibrating sound of the bird. The use of repetition also suggests the note is not definite and that there are many levels of uncertainty within the song. The fear within the trill can also represent the things unknown as well as the uncertainty that will accompany true freedom. With both of these texts enduring the theme of fear and hysteria, it is known that both texts emphasize these in different scenarios, with the caged bird being about a bird wanting freedom whilst undergoing hysterical fear of the unknown, and the crucible showing fear and hysteria through the power of an individual. It is shown that the caged bird is a related text to the crucible and allows others to see the world differently. Power struggles are another theme in these two texts. During the crucible, the theme of power is used heavily. It demonstrates that when the powerful oppress the powerless, both lose their humanity. During the crucible, the event of witch trials led to dramatic changes where characters began to hold greater control on events. During the quote, she raises her chin like the daughter of a prince and says to me, "I must go to Salem, Goody Proctor, I am an official of the court." Elizabeth is referring to Mary Warren and is saying that she is attempting to gain power even though she is not allowed to go out. The use of the simile, "she raises her chin like the daughter of a prince," emphasises that Mary Warren acts as though she has an entitlement, and can tell the proctors that she is not allowed to come and go as she pleases, and can no longer give her orders, although all she wanted to do was gain information. Throughout The Caged Bird, the poem portrays a caged bird, a bird that is stuck in a narrow cage, with limited mobility and can only sing about freedom that it has never and is unable to achieve. This caged bird is a representation of the past and ongoing experience of race-based oppression, especially of the African American community, and can also be read as representing any oppressed group's experience. During the second stanza, Mayer states his bars of rage, his wings are clipped, and his feet are tied. This implies that the bird may never be free from the resentment that was built up as a result of its oppression. This is shown through the use of the metaphor when the bars of his cage are described as his bars of rage, showing that the bird is aware that it is living in an unnatural environment as a struggle of gaining power. Throughout these two texts, fear and hysteria as well as power struggles are closely linked but in completely different scenarios, and the crucible being connected to a strict Puritan society and the caged bird relating to a bird in desperate need of power and freedom, but at the same time undergoing hysterical fear. These texts are not in common with each other based off their storyline, but are based off the same, if not very similar, themes, such as power, hysterical fear, freedom, and oppression.